everyone. I am a little bit jittery, not because of the stage or standing here today, but I think after that electrifying speech by Kiran Bedi, and apparently she took away a lot of my talking points as well, so I'm lost for words to speak today. But thank you for joining me today on this journey where I get to share some of my experiences. First things first, my name is Sahana DB, and I come from this charming little town, quaint little town in the northern part of Karnataka called Belgaum, more borderline Maharashtra. Grew up in a very cosmopolitan environment and amidst a very, very simple life. And been with Koch Business Solutions. It's not the beverage drink Coke. We work for Koch Industries, which is the Tata and Reliance of the US, one of the largest owned privately held organization in the US. A little bit about me as I get started. So you can see some pictures. Very, very fond of selfies, pictures right from my childhood, as you can see. The other thing I'm extremely fond of is the stage. So whoever is speaking next, beware. I might not step down from the stage so easily. Once I get the mic in my hand, I don't move. The first memory of being on the stage that I have was when I was, I think, around 4 years old. And there was a dance performance, and every one of us was supposed to come, do a little bit of a jig, and go back. And I went, and I enjoyed it so much, I never went back. And all the others kept coming and going, and my teachers kept calling me, get off the stage, but I just stood there and doing the same jig. So that just shows how much of passion I have for a stage. And this today is my first session where I'm speaking up to an audience as large as this. Why these pictures and why this? Because just want to, as I start to share the story, I just want to make sure I thank everybody and everyone who have made my journey of constraints to possibilities possible. Maintaining lifesaver friends for life, great teams that I've worked for, my family, and again, as I said, my love for Bollywood. You'll hear a lot of Bollywood snippets during this conversation today. Just a little bit about my family. I'm married to a UP ka chora, a good two states story, a perfectly imperfect marriage for the last 23 years now. And we live in Bangalore. We are stationed in Bangalore for the last 24 years. And it's me, my husband, and 5 children. Sorry, you don't have to be so shocked. While just one of them is our apple of our eye and the sunshine of our life, my son. The remaining 4 are our wonderful, notorious parents. Like I always say, 1 that we produced and 4 that produced us all live together. So a family of 7 members, a true blue satte pe satta extravaganza. That's where I come from. And what I wanted to share today was a little bit of journey from how I moved in my career over these 24 years. Going back, I think recently, a few days ago, I was driving back home from office, and I heard about an ad called, about this influencer, 25, 26-year-old influencer, sharing a podcast by the name Dear Teenage Me. And she said, okay, I'll try and share what I didn't do well in my teenage years or what I did well. I said, okay, I think it's a good thing to start. So I said, let me go with the same theme and say, Dear 20s me, Dear 30s me, and Dear 40s me. Oops, I didn't mean to intend to give away my age. I've just turned 23 for the second time last week, but it's okay. Going to the Dear 20s me, fresher in technology, Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Communications, came to Bangalore looking for a job. As expected, everybody wanted a job in development. IT means development. And but I got a job as a technical support engineer. And those were the days in the year 2000 when jobs were not as many and there was a recession period and all of that. But when I started as a technical support engineer, the first thing was, oh no, I'm not in development. My career is done. I don't think I'm going to do anything. I did extremely well in that role. I was quick to understand the applications, the products, make great steps into the work that I was doing, getting a lot of accomplishments, but in my head, and all my friends and the entire society told me that if you were to be successful, you had to be in a role in development. Nobody else gets looked into. I constantly kept pestering my manager, saying, I need to move into development. If I'm so good, can I get into development? Can you give me a role into that one? It was a small MNC with around 25, 30 people. And he said, okay, let's try. I moved off from that and I moved into the developer role. And 8 months or 9 months into the system, I was supposed to learn C++, VC++, MFC, SDK, multiple operating systems. It was a Windows to Unix porting tools. I had no clue of all the operating systems. The struggle was real. And I'd asked for it. I can't show weakness. I can't fail. All through my life, I've had good grades. There's so much of pressure to perform. Kept doing it. Bad health, late night work hours, everything that could go wrong went wrong. And as expected, performance dipped. There were issues, and when they had to look at certain things, they said, okay, I think you're not making the cut. When we are looking at the list of people who continue to stay with the organization, maybe your name may not be on the list. Now when I look back, what did I learn from my 20s? What not to do more than anything else. In those days, I derive a lot of my quotes and my experiences from movies, being a very solid Bollywood buff. So I was on a journey like Bunny from Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, where he says, Naina, मैं उड़ना चाहता हूँ, भागना चाहता हूँ, मैं सब कुछ करना चाहता हूँ, गिरना भी चाहता हूँ, पर रुकना नहीं चाहता. But I didn't know to walk. I wanted to run. I wanted to do everything. But I think the focus was not on excellence. The focus was more on what society has defined as the definitions of success, definitions of where you have to be. I think that's where I said breaking chains is important. For me to understand, and for everyone else in that stage to understand, don't go by what the society or what we've been told to do once we get into our careers. Understand where is your strength, make it your passion, excel in what you do, and be the best at it. So I don't have too much content on my slides, it's just for representation so that the attention stays on me. I said, I love the stage. So I'm going to make sure you're going to be hearing from me. So I just want to say, what I learned was break the chains of conformity, embrace your uniqueness. That's where your power lies. So you are you. You don't have to be like anybody, and you don't want to be like nobody. So just be you and bring what you have in you and make sure that you excel in it. Moving forward, my dear 30s or late 20s, as I get in, okay, lessons learned. Now I figured out that I have my calling, possibly in testing, quality assurance. In those days, quality assurance was just coming up. I said, okay, let me get into it. That was a phase of self-discovery, understanding your strengths, what you could do, what you could pick up. I worked on the maximum applications that I could, maximum technologies that I could. I got to work on different financial applications across. And started participating in the transformative projects, those were the times when we were moving from waterfall to agile. So took part in those transformations, learned agile, learned the business analysis, learned the product owner's responsibilities. So in a sense, this was the phase when I was doing a lot of things, a lot of complex stuff, a lot of projects, a lot of learning and growing. But again, is there any stage where we don't have challenges? This was also having its own set of challenges. In this phase of life, for women especially, in their career and aspirations, there is again a very different, you want to do a lot of things, but your life is going through a different phase possibly. Some of us, like for example, we were growing the family, so I had to concentrate on that. I was supposed to go on a leave, and I didn't know if when I come back from leave, am I going to be okay with the skills that I have in the market? All of those thoughts going on in your mind. That is the phase, the classic phase, when you want to be where you want to be a super mom, you want to be a super wife, you want to be a super resource in the office, You want to be super daughter, you want to be super everything. Truth be told, we are just super tired trying to be everything. And that's what happens, but you keep doing. What you need the most during this phase is building those bridges. Behind every successful woman lies a network of individuals who stood by her, who supported her, who cheered for her, and that support system is what gets you going. It could be your friends, it could be your colleagues, it could be your family, it could be everyone. That is the time when you build it out. I think more than anything else, I don't believe in that whole networking thing where you go out on the breaks, oh, I have a network with them, they'll work. No. Networking is not about collecting contacts for me. I don't know how many people I have on LinkedIn who would come to help me if I need a job tomorrow, but it's about building lasting bonds. I think that phase taught me that what to do, how to do things. And that was the learning that I had from that. And while I was in that phase, when other people were helping me, when I got into the QA and testing with no knowledge of it, when other peers and friends from the industry helped me, I realized that this is also something that we have to give back and pay back to people. So I think while we talk about the network, it is also about what we give back. So more of how can you help? How can you be there and how can you help support others as well while you're growing? So I read a quote which I was really impressed with by Madeleine Albright, who was the US Secretary of State. And she said, there's a special place in heaven for women who support other women. In fact, the truth be told, the quote actually says there's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. So we don't want to go to hell. So let's support each other and move forward. Building bridges, very, very important. The next phase, dear 40s. Well, I can't talk too much about it because I'm still in the early 40s. 23 for the second time is still early 40s according to me. But what happens in this phase? We had challenges in 20s, challenges in 30s. Do you expect challenges to be not there in 40s? No, definitely there are a lot more challenges. While that taught us what not to do, one phase taught me what to do and how to do. This is the phase which teaches you how to get things done, how to get it done from others. While earlier it was more about a I, now it's more about a we, more about a they, because you're getting into a leadership role, you're getting into a senior management profile where you are planning, putting together things for a lot of other people who are looking up to you every minute, every second, thinking, what is she up to next? Or what is she doing? Should I do that? Everybody is looking up to you. While there is a pressure to perform as well, but this is also the time you come across a lot of biases. I don't like being a victim and saying he showed a bias or they showed a bias. Half the biases are within us. We as women have a lot of biases that we have built around us. We keep thinking, oh my God, can I take up this role? There were roles offered to me and I said, oh my God, no, I think I am in a comfort zone. This is good. I don't want to take it up. I have had managers and leaders who came up and said, no, you should take it up. Oh no, my son is too small. I don't know if I can give him the required time. And when I was listening to Kiran Bedi today, she just summed it up. And that's exactly at some point all of us feel that guilt as a mom and am I doing enough? But no, you're always doing enough. You're always doing enough, say it to it. I have a quote on my desk, which I've always kept, which says, every time I got stressed, I read that quote. It says, you have enough, you are doing enough, and that's all you need. And I think that is a reminder, constant reminder of how you need to be constantly thinking that there is enough. So in this phase, what you come across or what I came across, if I have to talk about it, I think there are a lot of biases that we put ourselves, as I said. Plus, there are a lot of things where you think there's someone else, he could do it better than me. While in all the earlier phases, like, oh, I can do it, I will take it up, I am independent, now you have to get it done. So a lot of times it's like, oh, they can do it better, they can do the late nights, they can go to the client site at the drop of a hat, maybe I'll have to plan, I have a small kid or I have certain responsibilities. Also, this is the phase for a lot of us where our parents are getting into that zone where they are getting older, the kids are getting older, they need a lot more of you. But despite all of that, I think what we have to stay strong on is to be okay to take those risks in life and not take a step back and thinking that, okay, this is not for me. Because opportunities will keep knocking at your door. You have to just grab it, seize the moment, take it. Because it's very easy to say no. As I said, I work for a company called Koch, and not the beverage company, the Koch, pronounced as Koch Business Solutions. So when I applied for a role at Koch 4.5 years ago, I was leader for Quality Engineering Center of Excellence in my past. While I had a lot of other things on my profile, but the last role I held was the leader for Quality Engineering Center of Excellence, where I had stood up a Center of Excellence, where I had built that. And prior to that, I was doing a lot of business engagement, client onboarding, and all of that. When I applied for that role, this was for a COE, a leader for Koch as well. And when I went in for the interviews and it was all going through, I kept saying, oh, your JD is exactly what I have done and I am a perfect match. They kept saying, no, we are not looking for the JD. We are not looking for a QA leader. I am looking for a leader. That's what my leader at that time told me, that I am looking for a leader. I said, but your JD says this and I am bringing that to you. Why do you want that comes with it? I said, I am not looking at you as a QA leader. I am looking at you as a leader for Koch and how you can add value to Koch. And then my transformative journey started at Koch. Why I'm talking about this is because in this phase, you are also stamped with a lot of things. You are a QA manager, you are a development manager, you are from technical support, so you can't do this. You are not from infrastructure services, you can't handle this team. You are not from SAP background, so you can't have that team. Within a year, since we stood up the Center of Excellence, I had opportunities. I said, can you stand up more such centers of excellence and leverage capabilities? I said, first response, no, I think I am more QA proficient right now. My leader sat me down. He said, no, this is what I want you to do. I took up that role and we built 5 other COEs in the similar space for Salesforce, for Info, and such other things within our organization. A little later, the next year, 2022, there was an opportunity where they said, oh, we want you to handle a large business which is around 250 people, and it's a complete technology leader role, and would you take it up? And yet again, no, I think I'm good doing this, that business is very demanding, my son is getting into the 10th grade now, I need to spend more time with him. I spoke to my family, I spoke to my husband, I spoke to my friends, my peers. All of them said, you should take it up. That's the network I have. I think they have been the strongest things who have stood by me and said, go take it up, go grab it, no, you can do it, we'll support you. And that's when I took up that role. And that was the first time I was managing a team as large as 250 people. We did a lot of good things. I'm very proud of those accomplishments, what I've done there. And from there, got into, then in 2023, there was this opportunity where my India technology leader moved into the India site leader role. And there was this role open for technology leader. All this while, I had been offered roles and I was like, no, can I, may I, maybe not. This was the time my confidence told me that go apply for it. You ask for it. I think as women, in the 40s, the upward stakeholders management, the representation, the branding, the selling yourself, going and telling them, yes, I can do it, that is what we lack. And that was when I said, no, I'm applying for this. I will apply for this and I should try it. And then I had 9 to 10 rounds of grueling interviews with all of my CIOs of different business entities within, and then I took up this role, fighting it out against external candidates and other internal candidates. And I think that is the true sense of accomplishment for me. And again, I think the biggest factor in this is at a company like Koch and the leadership, the way they look at it is we don't have diversity and inclusion initiatives. We have an equality initiative. So we look at everyone. We don't have any men's day, women's day. We have everything gets celebrated in the mind. So we treat everyone equally. So equality is one of our principles and core values for us. So we focus on that. And today when I look back at what my India leader had told me when I was being interviewed, I'm not looking for a QA leader. I'm looking for a leader for Koch who will come and make those changes. I know what he meant today. And today I lead the entire technology stream of 1,500 plus technologists, which also has infrastructure services and support, which I had never led before. I have SAP teams that I had never known before. But like yesterday Vidya Rao mentioned, when you grow into the leadership role, it is not that you have to sit and do it, you have to get it done. And for me, I think this is the phase, or this phase when you're going into that leadership role. It's more about how do you get it done, how do you sell yourself, how do you brand yourself, and how do you take up all those opportunities without saying a no. And the journey continues. I'm still in my early 40s, as I said, so I continue to be. The next time I'll have more stories to share as I move forward in life. But just want to leave with a few things that I read and which I really resonate with. One was from Jeff Bezos, which said, it's all about our choices. So make sure you write a great story for yourself, because you are the one who is writing your own story and nobody else will come and write for you. The second thing is Maya Angelou, my favorite poet and the rights activist. She said this, and she said, a wise woman doesn't want to be anyone's enemy, and she refuses to be anyone's victim. So just remember, you bring your uniqueness to the table, use it and thrive with it. And whenever there is something that is coming up to you, instead of saying, no, I can't do it, just say, I haven't done it yet, I will do it. Thank you.